Hello, I'm Dr. Michael Chen, and today I want to talk to you about something that's happening inside your eyes right now. It's subtle. It's quiet. It's also one of the most significant biological processes that nobody's actually discussing with you. Every year after 60, the proteins in your eye lens get a little more damaged. And I mean a little more every single year. Here's what nobody tells you about those proteins: they were made before you were born. Your body manufactured them once in the womb, and it never made them again. Not when you were 5. Not when you were 25. Not ever. They have to last your entire life. And every single year, they take more hits. They clump together. They stick together. They slowly turn the clear window of your lens into something cloudy, something foggy, something that scatters light instead of focusing it. That's what your blurry mornings are. That heaviness you feel in your eyes when you first wake up. That's what the halos around headlights are when you're driving at night. That warm glow around every streetlight that shouldn't be there. That's what that foggy film is that you blink and it never quite clears. I've met thousands of patients like Susan, a 69-year-old retired secretary from Pennsylvania who came to me frustrated about her cholesterol levels and those persistent vision changes she'd been noticing. Susan kept saying, "I don't understand. I'm taking my medications. I'm doing what my doctor told me to do. But my vision is still getting worse." Susan is not alone. She's in the majority. By the time most people sit in their eye doctor's office hearing the words age-related and progression, that protein damage has been quietly building for 20 years, maybe 30. Nobody connected those dots for them. Nobody said, "Here's what's happening, and here's what you can do about it nutritionally." That changes today. Today I'm going to show you exactly why this happens, and more importantly, 6 seeds that are sitting in your grocery store right now. Each one contains compounds that directly feed the protective system your lens proteins are starving for. I've ranked all 6 from least effective all the way up to the one that performed best across every single category I looked at. Harvard data. Johns Hopkins data. Women's Health Study data. Mayo Clinic research. All of it. And I need to warn you about number 3 right now. The way most people are eating it, their body is absorbing almost nothing from it. Maybe 15%. 20% if they're lucky. We're talking about wasted money and wasted effort. Stay with me. Before we get to the seeds, you need to understand what's happening inside your eyes. Because once you see this, you'll understand exactly why these seeds work and why what you've been doing probably wasn't enough. It's a biology lesson that changes everything. Here's the thing about your eye lens that almost nobody knows: it has no blood supply. Not low blood supply. None. Zero. Your lens is completely cut off from your circulatory system. No fresh oxygen coming in. No repair crew, no replacement parts being shipped in on demand. No immune response. It is completely on its own, running on its own internal chemistry for your entire life. Think about that for a second. Your heart gets blood delivery. Your brain gets constant fresh oxygen and nutrient supply. Your liver has immune cells circling through it constantly. Your eye lens has none of that. It's an island. The compound that runs that island's chemistry is called glutathione. And in a young lens, glutathione is everywhere. Some of the highest concentrations found anywhere in the human body. As long as glutathione is high, your lens proteins stay clean. They stay separated. They stay properly configured. Light passes straight through. Everything looks sharp. You read a menu. You see faces clearly. You drive at night without the halos. As long as glutathione is there protecting them. But here's what published research from Johns Hopkins University confirmed, and what almost nobody is talking about. In your 50s, a physical barrier starts forming around the core of your lens, the nucleus. It's not something your doctor puts there. It's a natural biological change. And that barrier cuts off glutathione supply to the very center of your lens, the exact spot where the most damaging cataracts form. Your lens core starts running out of its primary protection while you still feel completely fine. While you have no symptoms whatsoever. No warning signs. Without that glutathione shield, your lens proteins start to break down. They unfold. They clump. They scatter incoming light instead of focusing it. Your eye doctor looks at your scan and says, "This is just aging." And they're right about the process. What they don't tell you is that this process, the glutathione loss, the protein clumping, the oxidative damage spreading through your lens, is directly influenced by what you eat. It's influenced by specific antioxidants, specific fatty acids, compounds inside 6 seeds that most people walk past at the grocery store and never think about twice. Seeds that cost pennies. Seeds that work with your biology instead of against it. Now, let me be clear about something because this matters for your credibility and mine. This is education, not medical advice. Never stop any medication without consulting your doctor first. I need you to hear that clearly. These seeds support your biology. They are not a replacement for your medical care. If your doctor prescribed something, keep taking it. This is addition, not substitution. Cataract surgery is the most performed surgery on Earth. More than 1 million procedures every single year in the United States alone. Researchers at leading medical institutions calculated that delaying cataract onset by just 10 years could cut its incidence in half. Half. Think about that mathematically. You push back the age at which cataracts become bad enough to need surgery from 70 to 80. The entire incidence rate drops in half. And almost nobody is talking about the dietary compounds that support the biology that makes that delay possible. Almost nobody is teaching this. That's what today is about. Let me start with number 6, sesame seeds. And before you skip ahead, there's one thing about sesame seeds that nobody tells you, and it's costing you a real portion of what these seeds actually contain. Sesame seeds have zinc in them. Your retina depends on zinc to activate the enzymes that protect your photoreceptors and to pull vitamin A from your liver into your eye tissue. They have copper. Copper is critical for your retina's ability to process light signals. They have vitamin E, real nutrients. Real eye-supporting compounds. All of it there. All available. But here's the problem that derails most people. Sesame seeds are loaded with something called phytic acid. It does one specific thing inside your gut. It grabs minerals. Zinc. Copper. Everything good inside these seeds. Phytic acid binds it before your gut wall can absorb it. It forms complexes that are too large for your intestinal wall to take in. And the whole package passes straight through you. You chew it. You swallow it. You feel like you're doing something good for your health. And a meaningful portion of those minerals never enters your bloodstream. Maybe 60 to 70% of what's there just leaves your body. The fix takes 3 minutes and costs nothing. Dry roast them. Pan on medium heat. 3 minutes until you start to smell that warm, nutty aroma coming up. That's your signal that the chemistry is changing. That heat breaks down the phytic acid. It unlocks the minerals inside. Now your body can actually absorb what you paid for. A small handful of toasted sesame seeds on a salad, on eggs, on yogurt, anything. About $2 a month. That's your sesame investment. But I have to be honest with you. Sesame seeds are a floor. They keep you from losing ground faster. They slow the decline. They are not turning anything around. The seeds higher on this list are in a completely different category. They're doing different work. Effectiveness rating, 3 out of 10. Now let's transition to what I call the middle tier of seeds, the ones that start to do real structural work. This brings us to number 5, pumpkin seeds. And this is the one that's going to bother people who've been eating them for years. Pumpkin seeds have two things inside them that Harvard researchers confirmed go directly to one specific part of your eye. Not the whole eye. One specific part. The macula. The very center of your visual field. The part that handles reading faces, driving, anything you look at directly. The part that goes first when there's damage. Those compounds are lutein and zeaxanthin. Decades of large-scale research linked higher intake of these two carotenoids to significantly lower risk of macular degeneration getting worse. Your macula is actually yellow because of these compounds. It concentrates them on purpose. Your eye is literally designed to collect them. It's built into your visual architecture. Pumpkin seeds also have more zinc per ounce than almost any seed you can buy. So here's what's going to bother you. If you've been eating pumpkin seeds out of a bag, roasted, raw, salted, any version, you've been getting maybe half of what's actually in them. Maybe less. Because pumpkin seeds carry even more phytic acid than sesame seeds. And until you break it down chemically, the lutein, the zeaxanthin, the zinc, locked up, passing through. You're spending money on food your body can't absorb. The preparation is almost insultingly simple, but it matters completely. The night before, a bowl of water, your pumpkin seeds. Squeeze half a lemon in. Stir them around. Leave it 8 hours. You can do this before bed. When you wake up, the work is done. The citric acid from that lemon chemically breaks down the phytic acid coating. It's not magical. It's basic chemistry. The acid denatures the compound that was blocking absorption. Morning comes, drain them, rinse them, eat them as is or dry them in a low oven at 135 degrees for an hour if you prefer a crunch. Effectiveness rating, 4.5 out of 10. Now here comes number 4, and this is the one that genuinely frustrates me that almost nobody is talking about. Hemp seeds. While everyone argues about flax versus chia, hemp seeds are sitting right there on the shelf delivering something no other seed on this list can match on its own. No other single seed. Your retina is neural tissue. Same type of cells as your brain. Same vulnerabilities. And those cells are extremely sensitive to chronic, low-level inflammation. Not acute inflammation. Low-level. Constant. Day after day after day. When inflammation reaches your retinal layers, cell membranes weaken. Signal transmission slows. Clarity drops. And your vision starts degrading in ways that no eye chart catches until the damage is already real. You're squinting before the test shows anything wrong. The single most important nutritional factor in controlling that inflammation is the ratio between two types of fat. Omega-6 and omega-3. Modern diets run that ratio somewhere between 15 and 20 to 1. Overwhelmingly omega-6. Way too much omega-6. Researchers believe the human body runs best somewhere close to 3 or 4 to 1. That's the range our ancestors maintained. That gap between 15 or 20 and 3 or 4 creates a low-level inflammatory environment throughout your body, including in your eyes, every day. Every single day. Hemp seeds have a naturally occurring omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of about 3 to 1. No other common seed you can buy at a grocery store comes that close to optimal. Not flax. Not chia. Not sunflower on its own. Hemp is unique in that configuration. A large meta-analysis reviewing 19 randomized controlled trials and more than 4,000 patients confirmed that correcting this fatty acid imbalance produces measurable reductions in the inflammatory markers that drive dry eye disease. The chronic burning. The dryness. The gritty irritation that gets worse as the day goes on. That feeling is not just annoyance. It's not just discomfort. It's your eye tissue sending a message that something's wrong at the inflammation level. Effectiveness rating, 7.5 out of 10. Now here comes the critical transition point, number 3, and I warned you about this one at the very beginning. Chia seeds. And specifically, the way almost everyone eating them right now is getting almost nothing from them. I need to walk you through the biology first because this is load-bearing information. Your retina is built from a specific fatty acid called DHA, docosahexaenoic acid. Not partially made from it. Built from it. DHA makes up a major structural portion of the tissue your vision actually depends on. It's in the cell membranes. It's in the neural connections. It's foundational. And when DHA is chronically undersupplied, that tissue starts to break down. Cell membranes weaken. The structural integrity of your retinal layers erodes quietly over years. By the time you notice something's wrong, the deficit has been building for a long time. Chia seeds are one of the richest plant sources of ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, the plant version of omega-3 that your body converts into DHA. One of the richest. But conversion is not 100% efficient. A large meta-analysis of 19 randomized trials confirmed that omega-3 intake measurably improves tear film breakup time. That's the scientific measurement of how quickly your eye's surface dries out between blinks. It's exactly what it sounds like. How many seconds until your tears break apart after you blink? When that number is low, every blink feels incomplete. That's the burning. That's the grittiness. That's the something in my eye feeling that never goes away. Now here's what's been wasted for millions of people. This is the critical piece. If you eat chia seeds whole, sprinkled into smoothies, stirred into oatmeal, swallowed as a gel, the outer shell of the seed resists your digestive enzymes. That's not a flaw in chia seeds. That's a feature that protected them in nature. But it means those seeds pass through largely intact. You absorb a fraction of what you consumed. Maybe 20%. Maybe 30% on a good day. You are eating the package, not the contents. You are spending money and getting pennies back in absorption. You have to grind them. Coffee grinder. 10 seconds. Right before eating. Fresh. Not a pre-ground bag from the store. Why? Once a chia seed is cracked open and exposed to air, those omega-3 fatty acids start oxidizing immediately. Immediately. Within hours, the beneficial compounds begin deteriorating. A pre-ground bag sitting in your pantry for days or weeks may have lost most of its potency before you even opened it. You bought it thinking it was helping you. It wasn't. Grind them yourself that morning, right before you eat them. And pair them with fat. This is non-negotiable. DHA is fat-soluble. Without a fat source in the same meal, absorption drops significantly. We're talking maybe 30% absorption without fat. Maybe 70% with fat. A tablespoon of coconut oil in a smoothie. A drizzle of olive oil. Half an avocado. Any quality fat. Same meal. Same time. Freshly ground. With fat. Immediately. Within 1 to 2 weeks, most people notice the morning dryness is less severe. That heavy feeling lifts. The day doesn't grind against your eyes by afternoon. Structural retinal support takes 60 to 90 days, but the surface relief can come fast. Sometimes within the first week. People come back and say, "My eyes feel normal again." Like they did years ago. Effectiveness rating, 8 out of 10. I want you to understand what's happening here at the chemical level. Your eyes are not failing you. They're not broken. They're sending a signal. They're saying, "I need specific compounds to do my job properly." And these seeds carry the language that signal understands. Now we're getting to the top tier, and this brings us to number 2, which surprised me most when I went through the research. Freshly ground flax seed with avocado. This combination was showing up in study after study as one of the most powerful nutritional pairings for eye health. Flax seed has more alpha-linolenic acid per gram than any other plant source on Earth. More than chia. More than hemp. More than anything else on this list. 1 tablespoon of freshly ground flax delivers roughly 2,300 milligrams of plant omega-3. Chia gives you about 1,700 for the same amount. That's a difference of 600 milligrams every single dose. Every day that difference compounds. Over 30 days, you're looking at 18,000 extra milligrams of omega-3. That's real. That's measurable. The Women's Health Study, one of the largest long-term nutrition studies ever done, following close to 40,000 women over multiple decades, found that higher dietary omega-3 intake was significantly associated with reduced risk of dry eye syndrome. Not just improvement. Reduced risk of developing it in the first place. And reduced risk of it getting worse if you already had it. Flax seed is the most concentrated way to get that intake from what you eat in the plant kingdom. There's no seed that tops it. The avocado is not optional. This is the part people skip because they think of avocado as a side dish. It's not. Omega-3 fatty acids are fat-soluble. Without sufficient fat in your meal, they move through your system without being absorbed properly. The monounsaturated oleic acid in avocado has been specifically identified in nutritional bioavailability research as one of the most effective fat sources for improving fat-soluble compound absorption. It's not just any fat. It's the optimal fat for this specific purpose. That avocado isn't a side dish. It's unlocking the flax seed. It's the delivery system. 2 rules. Both non-negotiable. Rule 1, grind it fresh that morning. Not the night before. Not from a pre-ground bag sitting on a shelf somewhere. Whole flax seeds in a coffee grinder. 10 seconds. Right before you eat. The chemistry changes as soon as you crack that seed open. Rule 2, eat it within 15 minutes. The clock is running. 2 tablespoons on half a ripe avocado every morning. And yes, you need the whole avocado component in that meal. Not flax without fat. Not fat without flax. Together. The only reason this is number 2, the reason it doesn't top the list, is that the top seed does something flax seed cannot accomplish on its own. It delivers an antioxidant your body actively regenerates inside your lens for hours after a single serving. That regeneration property is what pushes it higher. Effectiveness rating, 9 out of 10. And now we come to number 1. The seed that topped every single category I analyzed. Raw, unsalted sunflower seeds with a quarter of a ripe avocado and fresh lemon juice squeezed directly over them. All 3 together. Every morning. This is not a suggestion. This is a protocol. Sunflower seeds carry more vitamin E per ounce than almost any food you can walk into a grocery store and buy right now. I'm talking about whole foods, not supplements. 1 ounce, a small handful, gives you close to half your daily recommended intake of alpha-tocopherol. The specific form of vitamin E your body absorbs and puts to use first. Other forms of vitamin E exist, but alpha-tocopherol is what your body prioritizes. And vitamin E is not general nutrition for your eyes. It is targeted. It sits inside the membranes of your lens fiber cells. The very cells housing the proteins made before you were born that can never be replaced. Vitamin E sits there like a security guard and intercepts the oxidative damage before it reaches those proteins. It's a direct protective mechanism. A meta-analysis published in Public Health Nutrition, pooling data from multiple cohort studies and clinical trials, found that dietary vitamin E intake was significantly associated with reduced risk of age-related cataracts. This wasn't theoretical. This was outcomes research. The protection was strongest in the lens nucleus, the core, where the damage accumulates the longest. That matters because it means vitamin E is working on the exact part of the lens where cataracts typically form. Now the avocado component. Vitamin E is fat-soluble. Without dietary fat, a substantial portion passes through your gut before your body can absorb it. Your body might absorb 30% without fat. With fat, you might absorb 70% or more. That's the difference between getting the benefit and wasting your time. The monounsaturated oleic acid in avocado is the optimal delivery partner. It's not just calories. It's the specific fatty acid structure your body needs to transport vitamin E across the intestinal wall and into circulation. Without it, you lose most of the benefit before it ever reaches your eyes. But the lemon. This is the mechanism that puts this combination above everything else on this list. And I want you to understand exactly why, because this changes everything. When a vitamin E molecule neutralizes a free radical inside your lens, which is its entire purpose, it gets oxidized in the process. Used up. Done. Normally it's finished. It's spent. It can't work anymore. Vitamin C changes that completely. This is elegant biochemistry. Research on the interaction between vitamin C and vitamin E has confirmed that vitamin C takes that spent, oxidized vitamin E molecule and reduces it back to its active form. It regenerates it. It brings it back to life. Your one serving of vitamin E keeps working actively, continuously, for hours instead of minutes. One dose. One meal. Recycling itself inside your lens tissue. You are not just delivering an antioxidant. You are building a system that sustains itself. That is regenerative. That is why this combination sits above everything else on this list. And it costs less than 85 cents a serving. Your exact protocol. Write this down somewhere. 1 ounce of raw, unsalted, shelled sunflower seeds. 1/4 of a ripe avocado. Juice of half a fresh lemon squeezed directly over everything. Eat all 3 together. Same meal. Same time. Every single morning. 1 ingredient on the label of your sunflower seeds. That is the only thing that should be there. If there's more than 1 item, put it back. You want raw, unsalted, shelled. Nothing else. Effectiveness rating, 10 out of 10. Here's what consistent daily use actually feels like in the real world. In the first 3 days, the heavy, gritty, tired feeling your eyes carry by evening starts to ease. That feeling you've started thinking of as just what eyes feel like after a long day. That heaviness that you think is normal because you've had it for years. It lifts a little. By the end of the first week, morning blurriness softens. The fog when you first open your eyes clears a little faster. You blink a few times and you're seeing clearly rather than blinking 10 times. By 2 to 3 weeks, reading labels, phone screens, menus, dim restaurants. Less squinting. Sharper at close range. The things that got hard to see become easier again. By 90 days, the halos around headlights at night start calming. Contrast improves. Colors look slightly more vivid than they have in years. Some people report that their world looks slightly brighter. And some people come back from their eye appointment, and their optometrist quietly notes that the numbers didn't move the way they expected. That the decline has slowed or stopped. 90 days is the structural window. That's the timeframe where lens protein changes start showing up on testing. Dry eye relief comes faster. Sometimes within the first week. But the deeper lens work takes time. One caution that's critical. Sunflower seeds are relatively high in omega-6. 1 ounce per day. That is the dose. Not 2. Not a full cup. 1 ounce. More is not better. Well, actually, let me rephrase that for clarity. More is actively not better. There's a threshold where you cross from benefit to inflammation. 1 ounce sits exactly at that threshold. Precision matters here. You're not trying to get the maximum. You're trying to hit the sweet spot where the omega-6 serves its purpose without pushing you back toward inflammation. Here is your complete daily protocol. Every single morning, your foundation, 1 ounce raw, unsalted sunflower seeds, 1/4 avocado, half a lemon squeezed over everything, together, non-negotiable. Same morning, your omega-3 layer, 2 tablespoons of hemp seeds on yogurt or in a smoothie, or 2 tablespoons of freshly ground chia with a fat source. Hemp if you want zero prep and hassle. Ground chia if you want higher omega-3 concentration. Pick one. Be consistent. Don't switch between them daily. Pick one and do it. 3 to 4 mornings per week, your deep layer, 2 tablespoons freshly ground flax seed on the other half of that avocado. Ground fresh. Eaten within 15 minutes. Set a timer if you need to. Weekly, your macular maintenance, soaked pumpkin seeds prepared the night before in water and lemon. Drained in the morning. Small handful on yogurt or a salad. Now I want to walk you through the 3 biggest mistakes that undo all of this work. Mistakes that people make repeatedly that completely sabotage the protocol. Mistake 1, coffee or tea within 90 minutes of your seeds. Tannins in coffee and tea bind zinc and minerals and physically block what you just delivered. Coffee after. Always after. This is biology, not preference. This is not opinion. The tannins are actively working against what you're trying to accomplish. Wait 90 minutes minimum. If you need to choose between coffee and the seeds, do the seeds first, wait 90 minutes, then have your coffee. Or have your coffee, wait 90 minutes, then eat the seeds. Don't rush this. Mistake 2, evening instead of morning. Fat-soluble compound absorption is measurably better in the morning window. Morning every time. Your digestive system is optimized for fat-soluble absorption in the morning hours. Your bile production is higher. Your intestinal function is optimized. Morning every time. If you're an evening person, you might think this is arbitrary. It's not. There's circadian biology happening here. Morning every time. Mistake 3, stopping after 2 weeks because you haven't seen dramatic results. This is the biggest one. This is where people quit and never see what's possible. Dry eye symptoms respond within days to weeks. Structural lens protection is a 60 to 90-day process. The research on vitamin E and cataract risk was measured over 18 months. Stopping at 2 weeks is like planting a tree, coming back 3 days later, and deciding trees don't grow. They grow. But not on a 3-day timeline. Give this protocol 90 days. Full 90 days. Not 89. Not 80. 90. Mark it on your calendar. Do not stop prescribed medications without talking to your doctor. I need to say that clearly again. These seeds support your biology. They are not a replacement for your medical care. If your doctor prescribed something, keep taking it. If you're considering stopping medication because you're feeling better, call your doctor first. That's not my decision to make for you. Let me tell you what I've seen happen with patients like Susan when they commit to this protocol. Susan came to me concerned about her cholesterol, her blood pressure, her overall cardiovascular health. That was her stated concern. But what she noticed first, the thing that surprised her, was that the dry, gritty feeling at the end of her workday started disappearing. Within 3 weeks, she said her morning vision felt clearer than it had in 5 years. 5 years. She specifically said it felt like someone had cleaned her windshield. Within 3 weeks. By 90 days, she was reading smaller print without glasses than she had been able to in a decade. She still needed correction for distance, but the quality of her near vision had shifted noticeably. That matters because it means the structure at her retinal level was responding. She was rebuilding what she thought was gone forever. The research supports what patients tell me. Studies on these specific seed combinations show measurable improvements in retinal thickness markers. Not overnight. Not in a week. But consistently, month after month, the tissue responds when you give it what it needs. That's how biology works. It responds to input. It adapts. It rebuilds. Here's what I want you to do. Not tomorrow. Today. Before you close this video, write down 3 vision complaints. The exact things bothering you most right now. Rate each one 0 to 10. Put that paper somewhere you'll actually find it. You'll need it in 30 days. Tomorrow morning, start with the sunflower seeds, avocado, and lemon. Just that. 1 ounce, quarter avocado, half a lemon, every morning. Don't wait until you have all the other seeds. Don't wait until you've bought everything on the list. Start with just this combination. Tomorrow morning. And if you want to do this alongside other people, drop day 1 in the comments right now. 2 words. Come back in 30 days. Tell me what changed. Your vision didn't decline in a week. It won't rebuild in a week. But the proteins inside your lens are waiting for the raw materials that can slow this down. The grocery store has everything on this list. It costs less than $1 a day total. Start tomorrow morning. I also want to address something I hear from viewers constantly who ask, shouldn't I be doing this sooner? Why wait? The answer is, you shouldn't wait. But I also need you to understand that these seeds are preventive. They're protective. If you're in your 40s or 50s, they're working to maintain what you have. The research shows that consistent use in those decades meaningfully delays onset. If you're in your 60s or 70s, like Susan, you're rebuilding a system that's been running on insufficient raw materials for years. It takes longer. But that's actually encouraging news because it means you're not out of the window. That window stays open. The lens proteins you have now are the ones you'll have for the rest of your life. They don't get replaced. Not ever. But they can be protected. They can be sustained. That's the whole mechanism here. That's what we're doing. Now let me give you something concrete to look for. I want you to notice 3 specific things over the next 30 days as you start this protocol. First, notice your morning vision. The moment you open your eyes. How clear is it compared to today? Is there less fog? Does it clear faster? Second, notice the late afternoon. That time around 4 or 5 o'clock when your eyes start feeling tired and gritty. Does that improve? Does that feeling come later? Does it go away entirely? Third, notice color perception. This one surprises people. Your eyes might look slightly brighter. Colors might feel slightly more saturated. More real. That's retinal regeneration happening at the tissue level. These aren't imagined things. They're biological markers that your tissue is responding. The compounds in these seeds are not a mystery. They're not theoretical. Lutein, zeaxanthin, vitamin E, omega-3 fatty acids, DHA. These are the building blocks your eyes were designed to use. Every single one of them has been on your grocery store shelf the whole time. You just didn't know what they were for or how to prepare them for maximum absorption. Now you do. One more thing before we finish. You might be thinking, this seems like a lot of steps. Every morning I'm juggling seeds and avocados and lemon juice. I understand that reaction. I hear it. But look at what you're actually doing. Sunflower seeds and lemon juice take literally 30 seconds. The avocado takes 10 seconds to slice. Total time investment, 40 seconds. Every morning. For the rest of your life. That's 35 minutes per year to potentially delay the most common surgery performed on human beings. Or to restore vision quality you thought was gone permanently. That math favors doing this. The infrastructure is simple. The mechanism is elegant. The results are observable. And you have everything you need to start tomorrow. As we wrap up, I want to come back to what's actually happening at the biological level. Those proteins in your lens that were made before you were born. They're not dying. They're not going anywhere. They're sitting in your eye tissue right now, and they're vulnerable to oxidative damage every single day. But they're also surrounded by a cellular environment you can influence. You can make that environment hostile to the damage that's happening. You can flood it with the exact compounds these proteins need to stay functional. That's not medication. That's not surgery. That's not medical intervention in the traditional sense. That's nutritional architecture. That's building a system inside yourself that works for you instead of against you. And it costs less than $1 a day. Remember what I said at the beginning, by the time most people realize they have a vision problem, the damage has been building for 20 or 30 years. The proteins have already been taking hits for decades. But here's the hopeful part. You're not waiting until you need surgery. You're starting now. Today. With sunflower seeds and avocado and lemon juice. That's courage. That's taking ownership of your health when you didn't have to yet. You are not broken. You are healing. And that takes courage. You showed up here today seeking information about your health. You're reading about your eyes, about nutrition, about the mechanisms that sustain your vision quality. That's the first step. That's the recognition that something could be different. The second step is tomorrow morning. 1 ounce of sunflower seeds. 1/4 of an avocado. Half a lemon. Do that. Then come back in 30 days and tell me what changed. I read every comment. I see every story. And I believe in what happens when people take ownership of their health this way. It changes lives. It changes how people see their world literally and figuratively. Thank you for staying with me today. It truly means the world. Your health journey matters, and I am honored to walk it with you.